Jessica, I'm assuming you can see the works, but I'll let you describe each one if you'd like.
Yeah, we'd like to know.
All right. Well, I have here is some painting. These are early. I like the trees. I like to paint the trees. And so this is like my first exposure to like recreating the bark on the trees. This is the first one is got the different eyes at night. That was kind of it was, I think the title of it was Night Watching. But this has, you know, eyes at night and just recreating the trees and, you know, to give you that feeling and fear sometimes in the dark when you're walking. And, you know, just trying to be more aware. So on the other side is the birch tree, you know, trying to reenact the peeling of the tree in a three-dimensional kind of way with some multiple paints there. And a little bit of the first collage was this one with the eyes, you know, learning the material you use to, you know, seal the painting sort of thing. So
what kind of paint did you use?
some was acrylic and the gouache, and there was some sort of cover, like a clear cover layer on top of the other one, and the glue. I used some glue of some sort, you know, trying to figure out how to collage. But yeah, it's mostly like a watercolor, acrylic gouache, like mixed medium. Because some of these were drawings with markers and pens and things.
So the one on the, was that with markers? Did you start with markers?
Yes, these are drawings. These are drawings you start on paper. I started on paper. You know, the drawing I started on paper and then I cut them out. You know, I like to do that decoupage, you know, collage process. You know, when you cut the pieces and then affix them together in such a way that they're arranged. You can see that later on. I have another sort of collage, the decoupage type, you know, process on top of the painted canvas, because these are painted canvas, the tree bark reenactment there on the.
So it's on canvas rather than paper.
Correct. So I'm taking the drawing from the paper and affixing it after the painted process and in a collage sort of a way. So I need a glue to affix on top of the painting, on top of the canvas, you know, on that layered process. That's what that attempt is. Yeah.
Well, it looks like you didn't just attempt, that you did it. You want to go on to the next?
Sure, yeah. This is another process. You can see it's like skeletons. It's the Demerta. I have a poem called the Demerta, you know, Dios Demerta. It's the so the worship of the dead anniversary that comes around, and sort of the Spanish flair. So this is a different process I use in printmaking. So this is print making with the two skeletons there with markers and water, and I thought it came out fantastic. I used some another multiple layer process with the tissue paper and a glue again. This is like a marker watercolor process, and this was actually in printmaking, you make the print as a die, you know, so you go inside like a cast. So it's like a cast, and then you put the paint on the inside, and then you reprocess it onto another piece of paper, and it's sort of a mirror image. So you're creating this mirror image in the printmaking process. So that's really fantastic to me too. I enjoy seeing something after multiple layers are applied. So I want to do more of those. That was really a simple process I learned in another art group that I go to, and get some exposure to different art processes. So this is a valuable piece to me, because I want to do more of those. I really like them. And it was just on styrofoam, really. So we used a styrofoam plate as the die cast. You know, so you put the paint in there, and then you press it like a stamp, you know. So that's what I did on that one. And then the one next to it is actually like self-portrait in a character kind of way, because, you know, as a writer, sometimes we write in character or build characters and describe characters. And this character was a character of mine, different than myself, but as myself, as a self-portrait. And it was for a holiday collection, so I added the snow. So this is called First Snow, because I love the first snow. Every winter, the first snow is just so fantastic. Sometimes, you know, you see it and it is a miracle you don't expect. And you know, I made a bold choice there with my eye. It's like a peacock feather, really. It's a peacock feather. It is. And it's really a strange item to have in a holiday photograph, really. But it's a peacock feather. And I think that some people really don't get that, you know. I think that they really see like a black eye in that picture of my self-portrait. And I don't have a black eye, you know. I don't. That's a peacock feather. And it's weird, because in that irony of understanding the symbol, I think it really has kind of opened up a little bit of anger in a weird way, in that interpretation in my life. So this is a risky self-portrait I made of myself, because not all the characters that I write are perfect, dramatic wives or beautiful women, you know. Sometimes my character can be quiet, and sometimes be open to critique from people that don't really understand. So yeah, the self-portrait's always risky. These are different. The tree, I'll go with the tree is kind of an inside out printmaking attempt again with the apple, the one apple. You can see this tree is kind of recreated in some of my other art in different forms. It's kind of the same tree, but this one I wanted it to be whited out instead of making it always a black tree. I wanted it to be like a white tree. So I try to figure out how to do that. That's going to need some work. But the other one is a painting, marker drawing of this I saw in real life, a man who works with metal. Man who works with metal is the filigree. The filigree is like a see-through process in really thinning metal, and it's like really roundabout in that way, and it's see-through. You know, you can, this horse was giant. It was a giant horse. The horse probably stood maybe 9 or 10 feet high. And I drew this to remind myself of the horse because it was fantastic. And I was actually drawing this to Blaze of Glory by John Bon Jovi. You know, being inspired by John Bon Jovi. In the music, and then this is a Blaze of Glory song. And I just see this horse in fire, you know, he's so gigantic and he's made of metal, so you can't really hurt this inspirational horse. Here again is the tree. That's the tree. It's a white tree in this one. You can see it. It's a little more risky because this one is actually an attempt to heal the snakes with biblical verse. This vision of healing healing and touching the snakes and casting down demons with touch. And this is sort of like the tree in the garden of life and death, the tree of life and death. And the snake, of course, is Satan's transformation into a snake in the garden. And you can see the woman's hand and the roots, which is sort of kind of like another multi-process in the art, because you can see I painted the background in the acrylic with stencils and a roller. I used a roller to layer all the colors, and then the stencils. So the background's completely painted first, and then I layered on the drawings that were drawn on paper. And then the hand is obviously a piece from a magazine, like the decoupage or the collage again. Yeah. And on the right hand side, this is another painting, one that I made before the one on the left. So you can see that is the same stencil. The same stencil on the background there is the same stencil on the one without the snake in the tree, which is kind of the inspirational piece, really, because the first time that you look at this, you look at, I see a forest, I see trees, I see branches, I see sky, and they're orange, and they're blue and they're green. And I just recreated it in, not really by looking at it. I wasn't really looking at it, thinking of it and drawing it, the new one. I just kind of, you know, see my development as a person in my mind and how my art develops into new thoughts. Here's some creature work again. I'm fantastic about praising God's creatures. I thank you, God, for the creatures in the universe. And I thank God. In the B on the left is another attempt at a collage. You see, that is a canvas actually, where I'm learning the glue process again. Kind of learning, you know, Mod Podge, I think is best. I don't know. So that's a paint, that's a colored in B with colored pencils, and it's sort of use watercolor pencils. So watercoloring pencils, and on top of the neat decoupage or collage of little pieces that are recycled. So it's recycled art too. I like doing that. On the background of some of the others, you'll see is some cardboard. I'll use the cardboard, and the cardboard, it soaks up, the cardboard soaks up a lot more paint than some of the other really expensive, nice papers. But you know, it gives different feel, and you really have to work at what you're looking at to create that picture. So it's affordable, and it's helpful and all that kind of good stuff too. So I like recycled art. And then the beastie is on the right side. The beast. I call him the beastie. Beastie, like a friend, because he's a transportation character. I made him up. That is his self-image as, I guess, a chariot of some sort, and he has wings and can fly. And you know, I like myth characters and fantasy a lot, aside from a science fiction. But yeah, this character is a power character, and he represents transportation for me. And that's my favorite medium. I think that's my medium that opened me up to art, is the oil pastels. It's fun. It's fun.
This is Ani. For some reason, it's not letting me. Maybe is it done now? Oh, yep, that's it. I was like, why isn't it letting me scroll? So those are the 12 pictures that you sent us.
I have a question about the bee. There was a background there. So you said it was a collage. Did you do the background first and then put the bee on top?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that one was tricky. I'll tell you why it was tricky, because the three pieces in the background almost look like his antenna are praising them. You see them? They're like the hoe shape, like with the scientific like octagon or whatever that is, the sextuplet thing. Like you can see the placement of the bee. He's kind of praising those three little sextuplet things that are cut out as like recycled paper. So the placement was tricky on that one because you didn't get to see all of the pieces that I had put on there, you know, so, yep, learned something on that one too. Mhm.
Sorry, everybody.
And then you said something about poetry. I know you're a poet.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
which one was inspired by poetry?
Well, I have 2 self-published books out already. So I didn't get you a picture of that, but I think I sent a picture. It's a picture of both of my books that I worked with the camera to make the cover photographs. So I really like making pictures and photographs of flowers and that. So that's on the cover, and on the inside is the poetry. And the poetry is really kind of came before the art, all of the poetry. Um, and kind of separate. The poetry is a little bit darker than some of my art. It's not as colorful because some of it is more, I would say, you know, I did a little bit of work in makeup like art, and like special effects, and you know, it's a little bit more I don't know. It's more I don't know. I think the poetry is deeper, it comes from a deeper place than the art for me. Um I have, after the 2 self-published books, met up with some haiku writers. So I have another 3rd book out, which is a haiku book where I have it's a collaboration book. So there's multiple artists in the book. And that was, you know, basically Saturday classes before COVID. So that was pre-COVID. And then East Lansing Art Fair, that was a contest where I submitted a poem. So that was the 4th journal then that my poetry has been published in. You know, so those are more contest based at this point, you know, to get your writing read. I'm trying to have them put in libraries, you know, my alma mater, you know, the schools that I went to, and get some of those poetry books out there. But you know, it takes time and shipping and those types of things. So the library here locally has it. The library where I was born has it. And so the poetry books I'm trying to get out there. And, you know, I do have the correct accreditation on the inside, you know, a UPC, it can be bought on Amazon. But there's still, you know, publishing issues. I have the whole ideas of speaking with the lawyer, you know, those types of things. I mean, it's been out since 2017, 2018. So, you know, I don't think it's been fairly gotten exposure. And you know, there's risks again in like self-publishing. So, that's where I'm at with the poetry. Will I do another book? Probably. I'm kind of developed a little bit into script writing. But there's always room for those poems. I always make room for the poems and songwriting and music to keep things lighter than that dark side, that sometimes comes in at night or in sad times. So yeah.
Can you send us the information about your poetry books so I can,
Oh,
could you
yeah.
send it to me and then I'll send it to everybody else?
Okay. How
Would
do you
that
want
work?
me to?
Through an
How-
email. Just send it in an email.
Okay.
Okay, does anybody have any questions of Jessica?
I just want to
Are
say,
the poetry books for sale anywhere?
So Ken spoke up first, Susan. So Ken, what were you saying?
I just want to thank you for your presentation, Jessica. It was real good. And it seems like you enjoy your art, doing the
Thanks.
process and everything, and showing.
Thank you.
Susan, you were going to say
Are
something?
your books for sale anywhere? I mean, can
Yeah.
people get them?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I can always get you a copy personally. I would love to get you a copy, or you can go online to Amazon.com and you can order a copy or have a soft copy there on Kindle. They sell a soft copy too.
That you have it on Kindle is great. That's terrific.
Okay. I'll send a link to Laura. You can look it up by title on Amazon.com. Is Dangerously Speaking and Continuation. And I'll send the information out.
Okay, great.
Jessica, can you talk more about using a peacock to represent your eye?
Symbolically, I should say, I think, I've always been a little bit in the drama scene. So, the drama sometimes is like the mask, the scene. Like, let's say you think of a tattoo, right? And you have a tattoo that's got your drama mask. So you have the happy smiley mask, and then you have the frown face sad mask, right? And kind of when you take it a little bit step further, there's beauty and power and strength and confidence in which sometimes butterflies could be symboled along with a peacock feather. So peacock feather doesn't ever fade or lose their shiny luster. Basically, even after death, the peacock feather lives on, and it's beautiful. It's a heart shape. He kind of has a heart shape in a way, the blue eye, to distract from his big body is on his tail, in feather pieces as eyes, to take away and also see more beauty and symbolic, royalty, purity, immortality, a desire to truly make the world a better place.
Well, thank you all who came today.
Bye.
Bye, thanks
Have a
everybody.
nice rest of the weekend.
Have a nice weekend.
Stay cool.
Okay.
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Kenneth. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica, what did you want to say?
Thank you. I was just clapping. It was a great session. Thank you.
Oh, we really appreciated what you had to share with us.